Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress. This video is about revenge. Yes, chess is a war game and we of course have revenge in chess. This video is not so much about losing a game and then taking revenge in the next game. This is about revenge during the game. And the topic I'm talking about is spied checks. I got most of the material for this video from this book, The Joys of Chess, written by Christian Hesse. A very interesting book. If you can get your hands on it, it's well worth purchasing it. And a simple example of spied checks is in this position. This is the position that I had in a tournament in Italy in 2016 in the last round, and I was the last one to finish. This is move 85. I'm black, unfortunately, and I'm 3 pawns down in a lost queen endgame. I could have resigned here, but decided to give one more check. I played queen c1 check, king g6, and I have no more checks. I will either get checkmated or have to allow the queens to be swapped with the lost king and pawn endgame. And I resigned here and was sad for the rest of the day. Here is another example, a happier example for me. This is a picture that a friend of mine took of the final position of a game I played. I was white here and I just played the move rook g3 to g7. Setting up a mate on the back rank. You can see my hands in the top right corner writing down that move. And I'm an exchange up. That piece on d7 is the bishop. And the threat here is queen h8. Actually, I put this picture on my Instagram account for Chess to Impress. And there's nothing that black can do against that move. White is winning here. If it had been me behind the black pieces, I would have played queen e6 to e1 check to force white to take with the king on h2, and then I would have resigned. A bit of vengeance, a bit of revenge, but my opponent is a nicer person than I am, and he resigned at this moment. As Christian Hesse writes, being a war game, chess produces a whole range of different emotions. When, after hours of struggle, we finally see approaching doom over the board, there's sometimes a slight temptation to bend our opponent to our will, even if only for a short time, and without any real hope of changing matters. A final check which acts as an outlet of our frustration and a little bit of vengeance can lessen our despair. Nice words, and he also gives a famous quote from the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche. A little revenge is more human than no revenge at all. And Hesse goes on by giving a number of nice examples of this spied check topic. This position is from a simultaneous display from world champion Emanuel Lasker. He was world champion when this game was played in London in 1910, and his opponent was a strong player, the Dutch master and professional musician Rudolf Lohmann. In this position, the world champion Lasker is white and he is winning. He has sacrificed his rook on f8 to get this pass pawn on h7, which cannot be stopped. h7, h8 queen is unstoppable, and white has a winning position here. Lohmann gave a check with his rook, and Lasker, thinking it was a spy check, went to g4, double question mark, big blunder. As we'll see in a minute, what Lasker should have played is king f2, and then rook c2 check, and the king goes towards the rook, king e3. You can take on g2, but then h8 queen check, and white is winning. But after rook c3 check, thinking it was a spy check, Lasker went forward. And when he came back to the board, there was rook c4 check on the board, and Lasker must still have thought that this was a spy check. He played king g5, but when he came back the next time at the board, it was a simultaneous display. He saw that black played rook h4. Beautiful move. Luring the king to a bad square. Black is now threatening to take the pawn, so you have to take the rook, you have no choice. But after king takes h4, there is g5 check with a tempo, and the world champion resigned here. Because it's check, you have to do something about that. King takes, but then black can control the white pawn. You might still think, might this be a draw? Because white will have 2 passed pawns here, while black has these 4 passed pawns. But those passed pawns for black are so strong that it doesn't need the help of the king for one of them to promote. You can look at that for yourself, as I did. So Lasker rightly resigned here. And this is another example that Hesse gives. I like this one very much. It also involves a very famous player. Well, not a famous player, but a famous composer. White is Troitsky, one of the most famous chess problem composers of all time. I have used his compositions a number of times in videos for Chess to Impress and Chess to Progress. He was a genius. He also played games, but in this game things didn't go too well for him. It was played in St. Petersburg in Russia in 1896 and his opponent's name was Vogt. And Vogt is winning here. White, Trotsky, is busted. Black has a threat of bishop h3, followed by queen g2 checkmate. And just have a look at that poor rook on h1. Things have gone very badly for white here. Trotsky played rook d1. And that sets a trap. Almost everything is winning, but not bishop h3, which looked logical. But in fact, white now has a trick. Trotsky took on d8 with check. And is that a spy check? Well, Vogt might have thought so. He has to take, there's no other move. And then the big surprise, queen d1 check. Another spy check? Well, not really. You have to take that queen, because otherwise white will take the black queen. So queen takes d1 is the only move. And what's the problem here? Well, the problem here is that this game is over. It is stalemate. What a stalemate. If you look at it, all white's pieces, white has many pieces, but none of those pieces can move. This bishop is pinned. This knight is pinned. Well, you can look for yourself. None of the pieces can play. Really incredible. This pawn is pinned to this bishop. What a trick from Troitsky. It seems he was using his chess problem composer brain in this game. Wonderful. This last example is also very nice. Here, white is Hans Joner, a Swiss player and many times Swiss champion who would later be awarded the International Master title in 1950. This game is from the 17th of July 1938. It was played in Lausanne in Switzerland, and black is Giuseppe Stalda from Italy and a very strong correspondence chess player. These examples have chess players from all walks of life. White is totally winning here. He had just played queen a6 to c4, and black played h5 desperately, making a square for his king on h6. White just took that pawn, king h6, and now rook takes f6 is a good move, and black will get checkmated. But white blundered. He saw a quicker checkmate with queen f7. But now the game is a draw, even though neither of the players saw it. Black saw he was lost and decided to give a spy check. Rook h1 check. King g3 only move, and black was not satisfied yet, wanted to give one more spy check. A little bit of revenge, a little bit of vengeance. Rook takes h3 check, and then resigned. Resigned in a drawing position. I have a series on my channel resigning in a winning position. This one is resigning in a drawn position. And why is this drawn? What if you just take the rook? Well, if you do that, then it's actually black who wins. Queen h1 check, king g3, and checkmate. So you cannot take the rook, at least not with the king. Can you take it with the pawn? No, you can't, because of mate in 1. Queen g1 is checkmate. So all you can do after rook takes h3 check is move your king to g4. And then rook h4 check, king has to go back, and rook h3 check, and black has a draw. after all. So spite checks pointed him in the right direction, but he didn't look any further. He was probably too dejected to look for any more chances and decided to resign after rook takes h3 check. Hope you enjoyed this video with these spite check examples which I got from the book The Joys of Chess from Christian Hesse. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel. Please leave a comment, I will read them all and will reply to them all. You also may want to check out my Chess to Progress channel, the link is in the description box. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.